Hi, Priscilla.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are
I'm
you?
so excited. I'm so excited to be talking to you today. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Me too. This is one of the interviews that I've been really excited about because for everybody watching, Priscilla is like my ultimate girl crush. I like am so obsessed with her. I always say, like I always talk to Callie, I'm like, if I needed like if I was a client, like Priscilla would be my girl. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
stop.
I'm excited to do this to just like get to know you more and also like learn more about your coaching because I feel like I know you so well, but like there's just more. I just want to know more, you know?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited.
You know what? I'm an open book, so you can ask anything you want, and I'm pretty open to anything.
I love that. Okay, well, now that you set the stage for all of us, we're gonna get
Yes.
right into it. So, for everybody watching, we have the personal questions, coaching questions, and then just questions for shits and gigs, which are literally my favorite. So start us out by telling us where you're located right now.
So I am a bit of like a free spirit. So I was in New York City my entire life up until last year. And then I spent about a year in Richmond, Virginia. And now I am in beautiful Puerto Rico for the next 6 months or so because I am taking full advantage of my remote living.
I love that. Every time that I hear you say that, I'm like, so I'm gonna go look up flights to Puerto Rico to go visit Priscilla because I could use a vacation right now.
Yeah, I just feel like since we're able to work remotely and so many of my clients are interested in like what this is like and how do you do this and starting their own businesses, I just feel like I needed to take advantage of being able to go wherever I feel like going. So it's one of the best experiences I've ever had.
I love that. I'm so jealous. I like, I like that's one of my goals to just like pick up and do something spontaneous and just like, you have an idea of what you want to do and you just do it. And I love that. I love that
Exactly.
so much. Okay, so tell us your Myers-Briggs and your Enneagram type.
Oh God. So I always kind of like get tripped up on this. It's ES, what was it?
The feelings. I'm pretty sure you're ESFP.
ESFP, which is it's for some reason it just doesn't roll off the tongue for me. But if I can describe my personality, like I am the type of person that I feel things. I'm very aware of what people are going through, what people are feeling, what me myself, what I'm feeling. It took a while to get there. I wasn't always in tune with myself. So now that's what I help clients do. But I'm also kind of like sometimes the feeling needs to be separated from what actually needs to get done. And it's my goal for clients is so that they know what to do to solve their problems, right? And so my goal is to get them from point A to point B. So it's kind of a little bit of, I guess that's what makes me kind of like logical, like perceiving what's going on with people.
Yes, I love that. And what about your Enneagram type? Do you know that one?
No, do I? No.
I would bet that you're an 8. 8 is like
I think I'm 8 with 7 or something like that.
exactly what
Yeah.
8 is like just my husband's an 8 too, which is probably why I love you so much. But 8s are just like badasses and they just know what they want. They're independent. They go after what they want. If they have an idea about it, if they say, hey, I want to wake up and go to Puerto Rico today, you're getting your ass on a plane and you're going to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I am. Exactly. I totally am. I wasn't always like that. I was very much, this is what's supposed to happen. This is what's expected of me. It was kind of like this picture in my head about, what I was supposed to do with school, what I was supposed to do with my career, and what that was supposed to look like. And I had a very traditional career and a very traditional career path. And last year I was like, no, I only get to live once. And thank God, because then the pandemic happened. And I'm like, you see, this is why you live like you're only living once.
Yes, totally. And I think that, there's such a sense of freedom. I think when you are so constrained and confined by like what we should be doing, how we should be acting, what our lives should look like, that's just like
Mm-hmm.
so much pressure on our shoulders. And I feel like just releasing from all of those and just being like, I'm going to live my life for me now is probably just like the most freeing feeling. I like love that.
It is. It's freeing, but it's also, I was so unhappy. I was so incredibly unhappy. And I literally had to give myself a pep talk to get out of bed every morning. And I didn't want to live that way. I felt lost and confused for a long time because I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. And it's like this inner debate that you have with yourself. And finally, I was like, you know what? Something's got to give. My experiences and my education are my own. No one's going to take that away from me. I might as well go try something else. I can always come back to what I already know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I saw it.
Yes, I love that. I think that's a really powerful perspective to have just on life
Yeah.
and your path and your journey. Okay, so tell us 2 fun facts about yourself.
2 fun facts. Well, I try not to do this to other people, but like a fun fact about myself is that I really have like this phobia when I'm having dinner with people. Like I can't stand the chewing. And I always thought I was like a weirdo for like feeling that way. And I realized it's like an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who's as logical as me, I thought something like that wouldn't impact me, but it does. I am one of those weirdos that just gets skeeved out by that. But I guess that's not really fun.
No, I get that though. I feel like I have one friend from college and there's actually a word for it. I don't know what it is, but it's an actual.
Yeah, it's misophobia. It's like I just can't even stand it. But in terms of a fun fact about me, I don't know, I'm a Leo, and I feel like that's something that people always, they're like, oh, of course you are. And I don't necessarily like follow like astrology or buy into it, but everyone recognizes that I'm a Leo before I ever say anything. And I'm like, well, I mean, what does that really mean? And then I realized, yeah, no, I embody those things. I am super loyal. I am kind of, a little bit just like go with the wind and do what I want to do. And I'm not really too concerned with what other people think of me. But I don't know. Is that a fun fact? What fun fact would you like to know?
I'm super into horoscopes, and I actually like for sure knew that you would be a Leo. I feel like and that validates the fact that you're definitely an 8 on the Enneagram, because Leos and 8s are like go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I love that. Do you have any tattoos? I'm curious.
I do not. So it's funny. I don't have any vices. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't even drink coffee. I don't have tattoos. I had an eyebrow piercing when I was in high school. That is about as edgy as I got. I'm just, I don't know. I've never been, I'm always afraid to get a tattoo and then be sick of it in like a year. Like, then what do I do?
I know. That was one of my fun facts that I did with Callie. I was like, yeah, I have 6 tattoos, and one of them is on my side, and it's just like, I mean, it's not cheesy. It's like sweet, but like, I definitely got it in college when I was just like, living life and being an adult,
Yeah.
Now every time I'm in a swimsuit, I'm like, you're an idiot, Elise. Like, why did you do that?
Yeah, I've always said to myself, no, you're going to regret it. You're absolutely, and I would regret it. I would want to change it up.
Yeah.
And it's stuck.
Yeah, that happens. Okay. Tell us some hobbies that you enjoy doing.
Some hobbies. So I have been trying to be more creative. And so one of the things I'm exploring is like watercolors. Ooh. And I want to be better than I actually am. But I enjoy it. And I think that you should do the things that you enjoy, whether you're good at it or not, as long as you're having a good time. So I've been trying to do more of that. I like to write. So I do a lot of, I I have an obsession. Here's the fun fact. I have an obsession with notebooks. It's a real problem. Every time I go to a store, if there's a cute notebook, I have to buy it. And so I now have journals for different things. I have a journal for like all kinds of like relationship related things. I have journals just for goals. I have a journal just for business stuff. I'm about to start a journal for Blush, but it's an obsession. So I really do enjoy writing.
I love that. I do too. I think it's just like so cathartic to just like, I feel like when you're writing, your heart and your heart and your mind are, you're
Love it.
utilizing that connection. And I think it's just really special.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us your favorite book if you have one.
My favorite book. So one of the books that I felt like was kind of, I don't know, for me, gave me so much insight on myself. There is this book all about abandonment issues, and it has a terrible title. It's the worst title, but it's a helpful book. It has a bunch of quizzes in it to kind of narrow down, exactly what your abandonment issue is. The book is called Love Me, Don't Leave Me. Such a bad title, but I thought the book was so helpful, and it's a really quick read, and I do tend to recommend it to clients because you get an idea very quickly of your attachment style, but also like the root of some of your abandonment issues. And I think that sometimes people are not aware of how much abandonment is playing into all parts of your life. For me in particular, it also played a part in my career. And it was kind of like this idea of creating stability and making sure that I was grounded and able to take care of myself and always being able to provide for myself. And I think I also had something to prove because I basically raised myself. And I felt like I needed to provide that safety net. And so when I looked into this book and other books, related to that, I felt like I was reading about myself. And I think that anything that makes you feel like you have somehow discovered a different part of yourself is worth looking into.
I love that. That was one part of grad school that I was so interested in because I started out as a play therapist and was just so fascinated by attachment styles because they really do create patterns in your life, and then like future relationships, it shows up and manifests in your career. Like it's just so interesting how these experiences and memories that we have as children can impact us for the rest of our lives unless we're willing to really like dive deeper and learn more and discover more and change what's not serving us,
Yeah. And when I started to look into that, I mean, because of it, I went through so many difficult experiences, not understanding the protocol, because the way that I like to think about it is like we all have these narratives that we have in our minds that help us navigate the world and lets us know who we are, who at least we think we are. And I had so many negative things feeding those narratives, right? And I always kind of gravitated towards the negative, not really thinking about like all the different ways I was resilient and able to move forward and able to progress. And so I went through some really hard times. And the reason I wanted to start coaching was because if I can spare anyone from any of the things that I've been through, or some of the feelings that I've had, I want to do that. It's a lot. I think people are out here carrying a whole lot, and they need support in the way that your friends and your family can't provide because they're too close to you, right? They're invested in you, and they're fearful sometimes. And so you need someone who's kind of removed and objective and who has some of the experiences and who has been to the other side of it to help navigate that for you, or with you rather.
I completely agree. And I think that that's a great answer that brings us to these coaching questions, which I'm just so excited for. So tell us how long you've been with Blush for.
So I've been with Blush since March 2018, and I have loved every minute of it. It's like one of the best decisions. It's funny. I came across Blush and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna apply. Like, let's see what happens. And I didn't hear anything for like 2 months. And then 2 months later, Callie's like, hey, love to set up an interview. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, great. And ever since, I'm like, this is one of the best decisions I've made. It's allowed me to open up my world in a different way. Like I said, I was very stuck in a traditional 9 to 5. I was an assistant principal before I started doing this full time. And while I love the mission of education and I love the students, there's a lot that goes behind it that has nothing to do with that. And it was taking its toll. And I feel like Blush just allowed me to live on my own terms, and I'm hoping to do that for the clients.
I love that. I couldn't agree more. I have the same experience with my own life, just starting Blush and joining the team and just finding so much meaning and purpose out of it. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what attracted you to the helping profession?
Be needy. So I, to be honest, the reason I wanted to go into counseling was because when I was a senior in high school, my counselor pretty much helped save me, for lack of a better term for it. And she took care of me in a way that I was like, you know what, I want to do that for other people. And I've never forgotten that. And I think when I was in education, that was what I had in mind, right? I knew that other people, other students that were going through the same thing I went through were out there, and I wanted to help. And then eventually that started gravitating towards adults. As the kids grew up, I'm like, well, now what happens to them, right? Like, who do they turn to when they leave high school? College experience is completely different. And I felt like when you're in high school, there's all these supports that are available to you if you're fortunate enough to have them available to you. But once you leave, you know, everyone's like, you're on your own. And so if these things are not something that you're going to keep up with, then what happens? And I wanted to figure out another way to continue helping and to grow the way that I had been growing, right? Like, helping students is like, that was great, but what about the people suffering through divorce or trying to go through breakups and, you know, get on the other side of that, or people who are struggling with their careers? I had so much more to say after my initial thought of like, oh, let me just help students out.
I love that. I love that so much, that you, like, the help that you have to give grows as you're growing, which I just think is really, really powerful. Okay, tell us your favorite topics to coach on.
So I feel like the topics are starting to find me. So initially I thought, okay, I'll see what's out there. I'll see what I like to work with. And I thought career was really it. And I do see a lot of clients for their careers, and I'm really good about helping them navigate that because I just went through it, right? I just left my career. It was a tough decision to make. It was something that I had to plan for. And so I'm very good at helping people put together that plan. But I'm also finding that people are gravitating towards relationship related things. And I get contacted a lot to talk about relationships. And I kind of feel a little bit like an imposter when asked about it, because I'm like, well, I don't think I know all there is to know about relationships, right? Like, I don't necessarily see myself as an expert in that area. But the truth is that I'm really good at helping people get through the relationship heartaches, right? Like, helping them get to the other side. Like, you know, I've worked with clients who started off in a bad relationship. I helped them end that, and they transitioned into healthier relationships that then were really committed and kind of went through the milestones there. So I've been getting a lot of people for that. But now the one that I love the most is helping people with potentially starting their businesses. And I never thought that would be me. I didn't think that would fit me, but it does. And I like to see people starting their dreams and kind of getting excited about it and fleshing things out. And I've had a lot of success in that area as well.
That's amazing. I love that. That's, for the breakup thing, that's why I joined Blush, because I was going through a horrific breakup, and I was like, I feel like that is one of those times where you can really like throw your white flag up and be like, okay, I need support in this area. And I think that's just so amazing. And I love the career part too. I've had the honor of meeting one of your clients who used to helped her start her own blog and her own company, which is just like so badass. And I'm sure that's so rewarding for you to see your clients like actually doing what they've always wanted to do, you know, and actually putting a plan in action, which is just so great.
It is. I mean, like, I feel like every win for her is a win for me. And I feel that way about all my clients, right? Like when they're doing well, I feel so amazing to be able to be a part of that and to help them push and to do more than they thought they could do. And you know, it's like, you live through them, right? Like it's like all of it. I feel all of it. I get all of, you know, the excitement, and I get all of the heartache, and I get all of it, all of the feelings that they have towards it, all the good and bad. I feel it too. And I think that's what's really important, that it's genuine support, right? It's not just a conversation, but it's like genuine support. Like I genuinely care about what's going on.
Totally. I get that. I feel the exact same way about my clients. I think that's, you know, what sets Blush apart, because it's more than just a life coaching service, right? Like we're invested in your life, you know, for the long
Totally invested. Totally.
Okay, so what is your absolute favorite thing about coaching, if you had to pick one thing?
My absolute favorite thing about coaching. I love the moments where I feel like I'm not really saying anything that's groundbreaking, but the aha moment in people's faces where it's like, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't see it that way. That's a great idea. Like those moments, anytime that happens for a client, I'm like giddy inside, and I have to try to like be professional about it. But at the same time, I'm on the screen like, yes, that's it. So I don't know. I love it. I love to see that for clients.
I love that too. I completely agree. Okay, best coaching tip for a client who's thinking about joining.
I think that if you are thinking about joining, it is because you need the service. There's something that's going on that you feel you need support navigating, and that's okay. And if I could give any one piece of advice, is do not hesitate to get the support when you need it. You do not have to be anyone's hero and do it all yourself. You're not getting points for effort in life. You're not. And so if you need the support, I would say reach out, get the support, because the point is to get you to where you want to be. No one really cares how you get there. And so if you do that with support, more power to you.
I feel like this is a life coaching session for me. I'm like, yes.
Take notes, Elise.
I love it. Okay, what is your favorite self-care activity?
So it's funny. I have this whole thing that I want to work on that's all about self-care through relationships, because I feel like self-care is thought of as a very independent thing, that you go off and you take care of yourself. But I do believe that self-care is something that you can do with others, and you should, whether it be your friends, family, a relationship that you're in. And those moments where you're with those people and you're just having the best time, and you're laughing until your face hurts, and you know, maybe you're being intimate with your partner, or maybe you're on a great date, or you're having an amazing conversation, and you just feel so rejuvenated at the end of it, and you feel like you feel full, you feel content. I like being with the people that I care about. That's my favorite self-care activity.
I love that. I think the piece of togetherness is so important. And I think that's why this year has been so challenging for a lot of people, because that piece of being connected to the people that we love and that we feel refreshed and rejuvenated from, we haven't necessarily been able to do that at full force of full capacity because of the nature of the world right now.
Yeah.
I love that piece of togetherness. I think that's so important. Okay. Do you have a favorite quote?
Yes. It is, do not make anyone a priority when you're an option or something along those lines. Oh my God, I'm butchering Maya Angelou. But it is they are words to live by. It, you know, for me, I think so much energy is zapped in trying to make things something that they're not, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a professional relationship, a romantic relationship. There's so much effort that goes into mold, even the relationship with yourself, right? There's so much effort that goes into molding things to be something that may not fit you. And you would be so much happier and save so much more time if you were just willing to adjust to their level versus trying to get them to rise to yours.
Completely. I love that. I think that that's so important. Okay, now we're going into the fun questions, which is just like, okay, so if you could have a dinner party and invite anybody, who would be a couple people that you would invite?
The Obamas. They would be first on the list. I would invite Oprah because I feel like I just want to know everything she knows. I want to experience everything that she's kind of gone through, and all the people that she's talked to, like all of the people that she's had some sort of impact on and some interaction with. And I feel like, you know, what I love about her is that she seems to be collecting wisdom. It's almost like she just wants it all, and I want her to share it with me.
Mine too. I love her so much.
Yeah, right. And I think I would also invite some entertaining people, some beautiful people, because I like to be well-rounded, and I think, you know, being empowered and educated and talking about important and impactful topics is great, but I also think you have to have lots of fun, and sometimes that, you know, that's different kinds of fun.
Yes, I love it. I would come. I would be there.
Yes, I would invite you.
Okay, what is one thing that you cannot live without?
These AirPods. these AirPods. I mean, seriously, life changing. But one of the things that I can't live without is it's just, you know, being able to communicate. Like, I feel like I don't feel steady. You know, I don't feel anchored when I'm not communicating with, you know, it's just, and I have a very close, small circle. And I keep it that way for a reason. I think it's about the quality of the people in your life, right? And so for me, I'd rather narrow my focus down to a few people, and I can't imagine not being able to, like, at least talk to them every day. And you're right, this pandemic's been very difficult to navigate because, you know, there's only so much we can do.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this next one. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I would be able to teleport anywhere.
That was mine too. Totally.
Yeah, I want to be able to see the world.
And not have to, like, get in a car, get in a plane, or go through security.
Exactly.
Just literally snap your fingers. I love it. Okay, these last two questions. So what or who inspires you the most?
I think what I find most inspirational are any story where someone was really down. I love an underdog. I do. And so anytime someone's been in a position where they have lifted themselves, it doesn't matter how far they've lifted themselves. You don't have to be celebrity status to be inspirational. I admire that. I admire resilience. I think it's a beautiful thing to struggle and to surpass that and to reinvent yourself and be a better version of yourself for you, you know, not for anyone's standards, but for you. You're the best version of yourself for you.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter where it comes from. Like, those are the stories that inspire.
Yes. I'm like literally in a twilight zone right now because you and my husband are so similar. There's so many parallels of just like perspective, and I've asked him all of these questions too because it's just fun. And that was his response too. And he came from a really difficult upbringing. And I think he knows what it's like to go through really tough times. And so that, you know, that's his same answer of being inspired by people who are the underdog and, you know, take power and take action and, you know, take things back, take control back of their life and know that they actually have a choice in in creating their narrative. You know, I think that's so powerful and so important and such an important perspective to have that, you know, then I feel like helps you have more resilience. And, you know, it's just this, once the train's rolling, you can't stop it, you know?
That's it. Yeah. You know, it's funny because I feel like people consider something like that strong, right? Like you're so strong to be able to go through these things and like move forward and go beyond it. And yeah, you're strong, but I think you're also, there's a lot that goes into it. You're also stubborn as hell, and you're not going to let something break you if there's something that you can do about it. You're resourceful, you're insightful, you're so many, it's such a layered character to have the struggle that you're, you know, pushing through. I think it does so much for someone's personality, and also for what they're able to put out into the world. I think that when you're going through life, not really knowing what your purpose is, not really struggling through anything, and you're just kind of going through the motions of it, you know, it's difficult to understand the perspective of others, you know, and you don't even really fully understand yourself because you've never been challenged. And I think it's in the challenges that you're able to build your identity and say, either I rise up to this or I fall to it. And if you fall to it, it's fine, you know. To this experience you fell, the next one you better rise up, right? And so for me, there's always the opportunity to move forward if you choose it.
Preach, Pricilla. I literally preach, Pricilla. Like, oh, so good. I'm just feeling this combo so much. Oh, I'm sad that this is the last question, but what makes you feel most empowered?
I am most empowered when I know I have a support system. The thing is that you have to be willing to rely on your support system.
Yes.
And if you're not able to do that, then you're going to try to fight and swim on your own, and you're not always going to do that successfully. And I think that to remember that there are people who love me and care about me and are willing to support me is very empowering. I feel like it makes me feel like I can do anything. And if I fell on my face, it would be okay because there would be people there to catch me.
I love that. I think that's so so special. I'm sad that now the interview is over. I'm like,
we can make up more questions.
I know. I actually have a client in 5 minutes, but that was just so much fun. I really appreciate you just being so open and just sharing all of your wisdom with all of us. I literally feel like I just had a life coaching session myself, and I'm just like literally taking all the notes of like, you need to write a book, Pricilla. We're gonna manifest that. If you're not already writing a book,
put it out there. I definitely would love to do that. I would love to do that at some point. But I always feel like, well, what am I gonna say? Stay tuned.
You have I'll be your facilitator. I'll ask you questions and we'll just write it out together.
That's a good idea.
I love it. Okay, well, thanks so much, Pricilla. You're literally the best.
Thank you.
I have so much love for you, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.